Today we're going to do a little bit of gopher trapping because come springtime they pretty much own my garden, and this is a bit of control on my part. What I have in my hand today is one of the Burley Victor traps. This is a 615 trap, and for its style, this is one of my favorites. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set this, and here in just a moment, right here below me, I've got a fresh gopher hole. We're going to go ahead and set this in the gopher hole and see if we can't take care of a problem. So, alright, so here's your trap, and this is pretty much a modern rendition of the Maccabee wire trap. It's been made for the last 100 years. It's been upgraded, updated. It's got some thicker steel on here, some flat steel, but pretty much the same kind of trapping mechanism all the way through. I've got my chain on here, make sure I don't lose the trap. But kick plate, that's what the animal's going to push up against to set off the trap. You have these wire jaws right here, and they're sharpened on the end, so you don't want to get your hands in there. You have the inside wire loop and the outside wire loop. And so what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and hold it just like this. Kick plate towards me, jaws out away from me. And I'm going to push down with both thumbs on this inner U. As I push down, you can tell and see that those wire jaws are starting to open up. And it may not look like a very smart idea. I'm going to go ahead and put my thumbs on top of those jaws. Now, the length of the jaws are giving me a little more leverage, so even though at first I was having to push down real hard, once I put my thumbs right here, I'm not having to use as much pressure. Okay, this is where this long bar is going to come into hand, and you can see it swivels up here, and at the very end it's got a nub. I'm going to push down on these jaws, and if I've done this right, that nub at the end of that loop is going to come over the top. And with all the pressure I've got on here, that little bitty piece is going to keep those wires, or rather those jaws, from coming back and snapping on my thumb. So right now that trap is almost set. The only thing keeping it from going off is me keeping this wire bent and down. Now the last thing I need to do, and these traps are really great about being able to set sensitivity, is taking this little bitty hole that's here on this kick plate and pushing the wire through it. You can set sensitivity depending on how much wire is sticking out the back there, and I can set it where just the slightest it touches is going to knock it off, or I can make it where that mole or that vole or that gopher has to really push on it to set off. Now, as all these traps are not at all safe, this is not a humane trap. This is going to crush him. This is probably going to puncture the body, or at least suffocate him, or trap him until you get him there. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and put this in the hole, and it's simply going to be slid in just like this to make sure that my hands are anywhere where it's going to actually go off or get trapped in there. And once it's down inside the hole, as he digs up through the hole, he's going to kick on that, and if all goes well and the trap is set correctly, it'll go ahead and lock onto his body. And you want to go ahead and check these daily, if not twice daily, reset them, and take these seriously, because this is not a fun, nice trap. It's just one of the most efficient ways to get rid of your gophers and your moles and your voles. So we'll set it now, and we'll see if we can't get some luck. So here's the gopher mound, and right now it simply just looks like a mound of dirt. I've got my probe right here, and this is simply just a dowel rod, and I'm just going to probe with it. And until it goes to the earth, I really haven't found the hole yet, and right here's where it's at. These are going to take a little bit of excavating. Depending on the size of what you're trapping, you've got to make it clear enough where the trap's going to sit down in there. And so that's what I've done. I've got it large enough where the trap is going to slide down, have enough room for the kick plate to be pushed, and also where the jaws are going to be able to go and shut without them going up against one of the side walls. Once I've got that trap inside, I'm going to mound over just a little bit. I want some airflow. I want some sunlight to come through here, because what you're wanting to do is entice that gopher or mole or vole up to the sunlight to be able to plug the hole again. They want them plugged. They want to have all their entrances closed in to make sure things don't get in and keep the heat and insulation at this time of year down on the earth. So here we go. Here's my trap, and I've already set it. Sensitivity set, fairly sensitive, and I'm simply going to slide it down in the hole all the way down in there. I'm going to go ahead and put a few things on top to make sure he doesn't think it's a giant cavern and doesn't come up there or plug it in way down deep. And one of the last things I'm going to do is go ahead and put a flag down. And I want to do this to make sure that I don't run over it because I'm forgetful, so that I can find the trap again and so that other people know what's going on right here. But that trap is set. Go ahead and check it one more time this evening, check it in the morning, and hopefully with the number of the ones we're putting out today, we'll have a little bit of return on them. But there you go. That's how we set them. Alright. See if we had any luck with this. Looks like he's pulled this trap a lot further back. And there you go. Looks like that old Victor trap worked pretty well. So it's compressed down on his body. He's definitely dead. So all I've got to do is get my hands under there, make sure that the trap will go ahead and release those jaws. And there you go. There's your gopher. So, another successful kill.